hurricane. Now, let's get things started.
Apparently, people are still trying to wrap their brains around you-know-who sit down with Chris Wallace on Fox News. Some of the standout moments included saying that Navy SEAL Admiral William McRaven should have caught Osama bin Laden sooner. Chris Wallace pointing out that he's seen as a beacon for repression and that he also gave himself an A+ grade as president.
He said he wished it could be higher. Do you think it could be higher?
It depends on what you smoke.
He's always given himself.
Smoking something.
He's always given himself an A+. So I don't think there's, because he's been asked that so many times in interviews. I don't think it's ever been lower than an A+. I do want to mention the Admiral did give his response back to CNN yesterday. He said, "I did not back Hillary Clinton, something that the president said he did, or anyone else. I'm a fan of President Obama and President George W. Bush, both of whom I worked for. I admire all presidents, regardless of their political party, who uphold the dignity of the office and who use that office to bring the nation together in challenging times." And then he doubled down on what bothers him the most is the way he treats the press. I just thought it was important for him to clarify, because what the president attacked him on clearly
He said what
wasn't
bothered
true.
him most, the Navy SEAL, was that how the president treats the press?
Yeah.
That's what Chris Wallace
he says when you undermine the people's right to free
Admiral
press.
McRaven. Let's get
Admiral McRaven said what she just said, but what Chris Wallace said to Trump.
Yes.
You are considered you're seen as a beacon of repression around the world. So instead of taking responsibility for his horrible language that he uses and very racist and fascist and against the press all the time, he doubles down and blames the Navy SEAL Admiral McRaven for not going in and capturing bin Laden earlier. First of all, the CIA knows when to do these things, not the Navy SEALs.
Right.
So his information is off also.
Yeah.
And then he insults this great hero, as he usually does.
Yeah.
I mean, what is wrong with him?
I was impressed with how Chris Wallace handled this Trump always calling the press enemy of the people, because Wallace said, "I take some of the coverage of you, sir, and I've said it on the record, is biased, but I don't think that they are." And then Trump says, Wallace says, "I'm sorry, I don't know how but the idea that you call us the enemy of the people." And Trump says, "I'm not calling you that." And in response, Wallace says, "It doesn't matter what you call me. We're all in solidarity, sir."
Good
and that
for
was
him.
very, very important to
Even as
note.
the friends at Trump at Fox have to deal with him.
It's
like
very
that.
important to note that, they're all in it together. And I think you and I have both said many times, when you're in the White House as a correspondent, if one question isn't answered by the president, the very next reporter needs to stand in solidarity and ask the same question.
We need to have intellectual differentiation between, and I don't agree, as you know, calling the press the enemy of the people, but Jamal Khashoggi was viciously murdered for criticizing the government of Saudi Arabia, and there is a big difference between that and what's going on with CNN. That being said, I also think we should be intellectually honest here at this table that if President Obama had missed Veterans Day or missed the armistice ceremony in France for the 100th anniversary of World War I, my head would have exploded right here on this table in front of all of you. And I think there's this whole collection of sort of disrespect towards the military and towards our veterans and towards our history that I don't know if he's aware how intense it is for those of us who still respect our legacy, who still respect the military. You're talking about an admiral who put his life on the line in many different ways, and I think that's where we can't be gaslit into thinking this is normal, especially as conservatives, because, again, had President Obama done this, I 100% would be screaming bloody murder right here on this show.
That's right.
Well, can I just say what the biggest problem that I had with that interview, and Chris Wallace is a great journalist, and he's been trying to get that interview for so long, and it was a good one, is just his lack of reflection. And time and time again saying he gives himself an A+. He even said he gave himself an A on how he handled the Puerto Rico in response to the hurricane there. But as a leader, one of the most important qualities you should have is being able to look in the mirror and say, how can I do a better job? How can I serve my people better? How can I learn from my mistakes? mistakes. And never, other than saying he should have been in Arlington Cemetery, we don't hear times where he is listening to people and saying, you know what, I could have handled this situation maybe better than I did.
Kind of self-awareness, and I think he also doesn't have the type of self-awareness necessary in terms of this enemy of the people, enemy of the people. You see dictators all over the world now parroting that phrase, enemy of the people. You have the president of Syria saying, guess what, enemy of the people, there's fake news out there. You also have, you know, sort of the right-wing government in Poland saying fake news is a real thing. The president of the United States is saying it. So these things that this president is doing, very, very dangerous.
The fact that he doesn't want to hear the audio of Jamal Khashoggi, I can imagine it's quite brutal given the manner in which, the manner in which he was slaughtered. But again, maybe there should be reflection on what how governments really treat enemies of the people in Saudi Arabia and how violent it really is. And I was actually offended by the idea that, oh, we just aren't going to address this. I can't, it's too harsh. The president of the United States of America, a journalist, was slaughtered in cold blood, and you don't want to address it? That should also concern all of us.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
The fact that he refuses to connect the two himself to how people respond, because, you know, this is a build-up. This is how things build up to slaughtering journalists, you know? And if you think that you actually have nothing to do with this, everybody knows you're wrong. They all know you're wrong. So Chris Wallace, I happen to be a big fan of Chris Wallace.
He did a great job.
He did a really great job. And the moment he said, doesn't matter what you call us, we are all journalists. And when you say it to one, you're saying it to everybody. The fact that this seemed to have no glimmer of connection with him was like, oh, okay.
There was also a moment where he said, I'm not a gambler. Trump said, I'm not a gambler. And Chris Wallace goes, sir, you owned a casino.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
You know, Chris Wallace has to answer to a higher power. His father, Mike Wallace. Who set the standard. And so he's in a position
it's not easy for him being at Fox News, because a lot of the folks that watch Fox aren't the biggest fans of Chris Wallace, because he does push back and he is critical, and he is. I always love his commentary because he's critical when I think it makes a lot of sense. And it's not easy for him to do that. No, but it's not easy for them either all the time. You know?
Why do you think he chose
gravitas?
For the gravitas?
For the gravitas.
Because of the Wallace?
To show that, well, also to show that he could, you know, talk to a real journalist. And the real journalist said, you know what, you face with real journalists every day, and if you can't take it, I'm not going to certainly not going to let you go. And I'm really glad that he's on Fox. And I want to say, you know, listen, you can only listen and see one thing and believe one thing if you want to, but the real world is encroaching. Things are starting to happen now, and you're starting to see that the world is not just one thing. It is many things. That's the great thing about the country. We are many things, Chow. We'll be right back.
Still ahead, Meghan's battle. How she's honoring her late father John McCain's legacy by continuing his fight against President Putin. Today on The View.
You know, before we go on, we want to just say to folks who have been devastated by these fires out west, our thoughts and prayers are with you, and I know lots of people are gathering around to send all kinds of stuff that people need, and they need everything. So just know that we're with you. But as you also may know, you know who toured the wildfires in Paradise, California, and gave this fire prevention tip. Take a look.
I was with the president of Finland, and he said, we have a much different, we're a forest nation. He called it a forest nation. And they spend a lot of time on raking and cleaning and doing things, and they don't have any problem. And when it is, it's a very small problem.
Actually, as you probably know, Finland has a very different atmosphere. They got rain periodically. California doesn't rain much, so raking really isn't going to help. Just being realistic. And the Finnish president said he never suggested raking. You know, I don't know why the new guy just won't acknowledge that if you don't have any rain, raking everything out is fine, but if everything's dry and or someone, drops a cigarette or someone lights the fire or, some spark happens, stuff's going to burn. And raking it is not going to really help.
No,
so I would like him to stop with this raking stuff.
Where did he get the raking, though?
He says
raking if the Finnish president didn't say it.
He made some stuff.
I have, right? It's like, where did it come from? I have some.
So when did he become an expert on forest fires? Who is he, Smokey the Bear?
It's amazing. I have some really good friends that are from Finland, and the Finns are having such a ball with this. There are memes online with them vacuuming the forest. And my friend is like sending me all this stuff, but in a sense, we've almost become the laughing stock in so many places.
Well, he is.
And it's just so embarrassing because if you know anything about Finland, it rains like half the year. It's really cold. California.
There's moisture.
And they also have some forest fires now because of climate change since 2006. They've had some forest fires also.
Yeah, it's like the most opposite place to compare California to. So even to get tips, I had a question, but it makes me sad that it takes the focus away from what's actually going on in California. You're talking about like people in Finland laughing. When the campfire's been burning now for more than 10 days, it's taken 77 lives, destroyed thousands of homes and structures. It says it's not even, I think it's only halfway done. It won't be done until November 30th. If you've seen photos of these neighborhoods, they're not even neighborhoods anymore. Everything is burnt to the ground.
People still missing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just don't try and rationalize crazy talk. That's my. It's a good take
from.
I have no idea, but I've been to many forests, as of all of you. You can't clean up all the leaves in the forest. And this is when I exit out because it's not rational, and I am not going to have a conversation about something that's completely irrational.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Finland's getting such a
talk about him every day.
You can't. There's the issues that we talked about last segment. I think, like what you're saying, like I don't know when he became Smokey the Bear. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe all I need him to do is shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's it.
And I try not to be, I try not to be too rude, but you know what? People lost their lives.
Yeah.
Families lost their homes. This is not a joke. Raking, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Raking is not funny to people in California. This is not cute, this idea. And if you don't know this, if you really don't know this, man, everybody needs to start rethinking what you're saying and how you're saying it, because you sure don't give a damn about the people in California.
Whoopi, do you know, this is what he said was unbelievable. I shouldn't use the word bear anymore. I mean, as big as they look on the tube, you don't really see what's going on until you come here, says Trump. And what we saw at Pleasure, not Paradise, Pleasure, what a name right now, he goes. What we just saw, we just left Pleasure. And someone says to him, it's Paradise, California. And then oh yeah, Paradise. He doesn't even know the name of the place.
Well, that's why I want him to, I just want him to stop talking in California.
Yeah.
People are dying. People died. People lost everything. Listen, if you're not going to help, stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be back. From London, where your dad was posthumously received the 2018 Sergei Magnitsky Human Rights Award. Tell everybody about that.
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you to ABC and The View for giving me these 2 days off to go to the House of Commons to talk about the Magnitsky Act and to accept this award on behalf of my father. I'm going to give everybody a tiny little lesson. Thank you, just in case you don't know what this is. So this is a picture of Sergei Magnitsky, who was, well, we should have a picture of him. He was a lawyer who fought for human rights in Russia, and he exposed corruption, $230 million tax fraud in Russia that was using Swiss bank accounts and offshore companies by Vladimir Putin. He was subsequently tortured and killed in 2009. The 10-year anniversary of his death was 2 days ago. So the Magnitsky Act applies globally, and what it does is, we have it here in the United States. My father fought for it very hard, and it authorizes the U.S. government to sanction people in Russia for human rights offenders, and it freezes their assets assets and stops them from coming into the United States. So it's basically protecting us from the bad guys in Russia from coming here. Bill Browder, who is the lawyer, I don't know if we have a picture of him, now goes around trying to get the Magnitsky Act enacted not only here in the United States, but broadly. Why this is important: the spy who met with Donald Trump Jr. was petitioning and lobbying to have the Magnitsky Act removed. This is a picture of me with Vladimir Kazimura, who is a man who has been poisoned twice. He is fighting for freedom also in Russia. He is someone who, again, poisoned twice. He's a dissident and outspoken critic. He was a pallbearer at my father's funeral. Why this is so important is I and many Americans continue to believe that the clear and present threat of Vladimir Putin and his global expansion is a threat to democracy, not only here in the United States, but abroad. I think if we've learned anything from the last election, it is important that we stand by human rights, that we stand by democracy, that we don't let Vladimir Putin use democracy as some kind of slush fund while taking money from Russian taxpayers, while at the same time torturing people, killing them, putting them in jail for speaking out publicly, and any kind of rights that we have in this
Can
country.
I ask you a question? How did
I'm getting on my soapbox.
No,
but
that's all right. How did they feel at this event about the fact that Trump is very friendly with Putin?
Yeah.
Everyone's concerned about the Trump Tower meeting from the people, and I don't want to, say too much. The Washington Post said it was a collective meeting of Putin's enemies. I am proud to continue my father's legacy and be an enemy of Putin. Some of us have to speak out since people in the White House seem to think that getting cozy with Putin is still something that's going to be okay. We have to be a beacon of hope globally for democracy. He is committed to the extermination of the West. I believe he's a clear and present threat to the United States of America, and I believe that Sergei Magnitsky is someone whose name should be on everyone's lips. We should know his legacy, and we should continue fighting for what he believed in.
Okay.
Yes.
And we'll be back.
Welcome back. I just want to give you a heads up about something great that happened last night. At 93, Cicely Tyson received her first Oscar. It was at the 10th annual Governor's Awards, and the Governor's Awards are special Oscars that are given to real icons that maybe have not gotten the recognition that they should have. And, she was nominated in 1972 for Sounder, but she's been in so many other films that, that during a very specific time, folks weren't looking at women of color as really contenders. So I feel, missed out on a lot of things. So I'm really thrilled that she got hers. And composer Lalo Schifrin and publicist Martin Levy, producers Kathleen Kennedy and Frank Marshall, they got the Irving G. Thalberg Memorial Award. So I just want to say congratulations, Cicely Tyson. You earned this.
Yeah. And how about that dress she had on? And she looked so regal. That dress was...
Yeah, and the gloves.
And the gloves and just the whole look.
She's like, I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
Well, you think as an actor, that they'll see it, that there's nothing blocking it. And then you see someone at 92 who's been in amazing films, who, for one reason or another, was not recognized. She's been recognized now, and that's all that's important.
Right.
So how about this? There was a woman. I don't know where she's from, but she's a woman. She's completely stressed out by the office snitch, who would do stuff like rat people out to the boss if somebody came in late. So she asked the Washington Post advice column how to handle it. They said, ignore her. What would you do?
I think you keep her close. I think a good snitch here and there is not too bad.
You get all the deets.
You keep her close.
It's
You got
embarrassing.
got a little source.
But I was actually the snitch in my family growing up. And now I learned so much from my sister. I was like the perfect Mormon child growing up. My life's different now, but my sister was like the wild child, so I would run up to my parents' room. Yeah, Liddy, she ran away from home again, Mom. And now my sister still gets mad at me for it and makes fun of me. But I learned from it, because the last thing you want to be is a snitch. The last thing you want to be is like, well, I'm better than other people. I can tell on them, because none of us should be like that.
There should be pointed out there's a difference between a snitch and a whistleblower. A whistleblower is somebody, movies are made about them.
Right.
Silkwood and other movies.
Right.
A snitch ends up in cement galoshes. And
white neighborhood.
You guys, it's me, your friend Sarah. I'm gonna be on The View. We're about to go on, and it's gonna be fine. Relax. We're just molecules on a planet in outer space.
Okay, one of the funniest comedians working today has been busy trying to unite the country on her series I Love You, America, and helping Ralph break the internet on the big screen. Please welcome the lovely and talented Sarah Silverman. My dear, you know, you have a new show, I Love You, America, which is very much the kumbaya, right? We're trying to find out what the other side is thinking, right? We go into Trump country.
Yeah, I mean, we do field pieces where I had a family dinner with a very conservative Republican family, and, you know, we always leave thinking the same. Oh, there they are. Oh, wow. Yeah. Thinking the same thing, like, oh, they're pretty, I love them. They're nice, you know? I mean, we don't think we change each other's minds particularly, except for about each other and being able to get along. But I also speak truth to power. I'm opinionated, and the monologues are pretty, I distinguish between the liars and the lied to. You know?
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I don't like liars, and I don't feel like I need to be open. But the lied to are, I feel, have compassion for.
So, but you also say that you are grateful for Trump.
I am grateful for Trump. Well, I mean, it was Thanksgiving, our last episode, I think there's a lot to be grateful for in terms of what he's caused, which is more women than ever running for office and being elected for office.
Yes, to be built.
It's the pendulum has swung the other way, but also just the fact that sorry, I missed that and it was funny.
Happens all the time.
But he's forced us to, he's taught us that democracy is not something to take for granted. It's something that has to be protected every day. And for that, I'll be grateful. But
He gave himself an A+ rating, by the way. Do you agree with that?
No.
He would like it to have been even higher. Is anything higher than an A? No, but
His
there's something lower than an
pathology
A.
is absolutely bizarre and fascinating if it wasn't so infuriating that he hurts people in their lives.
I love that you're going out and getting to know people, though, that think differently than you. I think that more people should be willing to do that. Maybe it would help people get along better, or at least have conversations more. It's healthy. It's really healthy.
Do it every day. You have to train yourself not to jump to the conclusion, but to like meander to it. You know, as opposed to just going, oh, that's what it is. You say, no, what is it? And you put it beautifully. So
I mean, I think of the show as, like, for me, about Mr. Rogers, which, you know, very blue, very crass, you know, Mr. Rogers for adults. But I mean, like, what are we? We're kids plus time, you know, and all these things, you know, we think of governments as grown-ups. They're messed up people with daddy issues and ego problems who haven't looked inward, and we suffer from it.
Maybe they should all have psychotherapy before they can run for office.
100%. It's crazy that that's not a thing.
Can we move to something very happy?
Yes, please.
You got a star on the Walk of Fame. Congratulations. It's wonderful.
Look at you, how glamorous.
Oh, that's great. What's the best part of that?
Very inexpensive dress.
Is it?
Yeah, I got it online. Stop Staring, that's the name of it.
Oh, I wear them all the time. They're great.
They fit well. They're good for...
They fit tatas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good for women with boobs.
What was the best part about winning it?
Well, I'm right next to Mr. Rogers.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I couldn't believe it that forever I get to be his neighbor. You know? I mean, I mean, he is the man that taught me that I'm the only one in the whole world qualified to be me.
Yes.
You know, and that I deserve love just as I am.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that. I got into him more in high school.
Oh, really?
Really?
It's a little late.
I probably watched him as a kid, but I remember I was just telling someone I was in high school. I would watch Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers before school, and I saw it in a whole new way, and I was moved by it. Yeah.
I miss him more than ever now.
Me too.
Honestly.
We have to talk about your new movie because it was so much fun. Like, I'm listening to you and I'm listening to Vanellope. Right?
Yeah, she's all the way up.
She's all the way up. Such a great, a great character. And you said one of the reasons you were so interested in it is because she empowers girls. And I think we have a clip, and then I want to chat with you about it.
Kid, she's coming up right behind us. Oh, hello.
I believe you have something of mine.
Yeah,
Come and get it. This girl can drive.
That was such a great, it's such a great scene. And how much of the character is based on you? I mean, can you drive like that?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. No, I'm not a good driver. But, yeah, she slowly really became, in the first sketches were like this freckled, redheaded kid, and then slowly she had a ponytail, and then she, you know, she just had big black eyebrows, and it was so cool. And, you know, they've got like little cameras in the recesses of the room when you record that I'm never aware of.
Yeah.
But then when you go see the movie, and she's got my like weird tics and, you know, physical movements, it's so bizarre. That was like the pretend recording session where they dress you up in nice clothes. But although John C. Reilly always is in a three-piece.
Yes, he is.
He came here in one last week.
I can't even handle him. He's so cute.
Vanellope, though, is my type of princess, and I think for so many girls, lives in sweatpants, isn't perfect all the time. And there was an the internet went crazy when a clip was released, a trailer, where Vanellope's talking to the other traditional princesses. How did that unfold?
I loved it so much. I just love that Disney was game to do this. I mean, look at that.
It's so
Cinderella makes a glass slipper a shiv. And all the tropes that Disney was partially responsible for creating, the tiny waist, the saved by a, you know, damsel in distress, the saved by a man, the very whiteness of it, you know, and how they grew and learned and changed and progressed and became inclusive and more progressive. And now look at this 9-year-old little Jewish kid with an attainable waist and comfortable clothes.
Before we go, I want you to briefly tell us, what was the great advice someone gave you when you were a young comedian? Someone gave you good advice. Do you remember what it was?
Oh, I know what this is. You're saying that sarcastic.
No. I don't know what it is. So how can I say it's sarcastic?
Someone said just set you up.
Advice you regret taking.
Someone said you got good advice. So I'm asking, what was it?
No, it wasn't good advice. But when I started out in stand-up, the line was, you're only if you're gonna be a woman, you have to talk about things that men can relate to. You can't talk about things that only women can relate to. Because yes, there are women in the audience, but they're on dates and they only laugh if the guy laughs.
Oh.
And it was honestly what everyone, like the company line, and I accepted it for a while.
But not anymore.
No.
She's Sarah Silverman. Thank you. Catch her in Ralph Breaks the Internet. It's in theaters now. On Wednesday, by the way. We'll be right back. Back today, Wednesday.
Next, Oprah's right in your gift list this year. We partnered with vendors for at least perfect for the holidays.
Take your gift list up a notch. We partner with vendors for at least half off her holiday batch of favorite things while supplies last. And here to show them off is O Magazine's creative director, Adam Glassman. Good morning. Good morning. shining.
Not only do we have 6 favorite things, but they're all under $50.
Which is wonderful.
Which is wonderful. So
Yes.
really, you're going to shop for other people and yourself.
Yes.
Probably. We're going to start off with Softies. This is the hooded snuggle lounger. It's right here next to you. Feel this fabric. When you touch this, you will fall in love.
Soft.
Isn't it amazing? It's the most comfy, cozy thing out there. You will wear this all weekend long.
Oh
you
my
will come home
gosh.
from work and put this on.
I love
and
it.
you could wear it over leggings and do errands. 3 colors, and the sizes are amazing, from small to 3X.
Ooh.
So it's great.
Excellent.
The price normally is $95.
Yes.
Today it's going to be $47, so we're saving 50% off. Yes. Okay, Sonny, I don't know about you, but I know I go on vacation and I come back with more stuff than I went with.
Shop.
Of course. Well, you're going to want to go with this pouch from Paravel.
Oh my gosh.
It folds very flat like this. You pack it in your thing. You unzip it. It turns into this bag, which is high quality, really beautiful,
Do you know how much
sturdy.
stuff I could fit in this?
Oh, I know.
Shop?
So much stuff. It's incredible. The price normally is $60.
Yeah.
Today we're doing it for $30, and we're giving free shipping as
shipping
well
is key.
from Paravel. There's so many colors, great for men and women.
Wow, I like
Totally
that.
great. Okay. Oprah loves all things truffles, and Stedman loves all kinds of hot sauce.
Oh, my gosh.
This combines their love for both. It's called Truff Hot Sauce. You have to smell this right now.
Now, you know that
There's a lid.
I happen to love hot sauce
Oh, do
and
you?
truffle as
oh,
well.
this is amazing. Chili pepper,
Can I try
savory
it?
spices. Yeah. You want to try it right now. You're
I'm
going
one
to
of those
like it.
people that carries hot sauce in her purse.
Oh, yeah, like Beyonce. Yeah.
It's delicious.
It is delicious. We are selling 2. 2 together.
my
So you
God.
could keep one, gift the other, or gift them both. Normally the price is $30 for 2. Today is going to be $15 for 2.
Wow.
So you're saving 50%. It's amazing
This would
hot
be
sauce.
really good on eggs.
Yes, it would.
It sounds
And
weird, but
I'm
on
telling
eggs
you,
it would be great.
Stedman gave up his Louisiana hot sauce for this, so this is now his favorite thing as well.
And I like Louisiana hot sauce,
Yeah,
too.
okay. These mugs make Oprah very, very, very happy. She loves a big mug. You have to feel it in your hand. She liked how her hand fits around the handle. Yes. It holds 20 ounces. So if you're a coffee lover, it's great.
Yes.
On a rainy, cold day, it's great for soup or chai or anything.
nice.
It's a set of 6. The most gorgeous colors out there.
Beautiful. Look
this
at
is from Yeti.
there are colors
and the colors
inside,
are
which is
inside, which is great. Comes packaged like this, a really impressive gift. Normally it's $50. Today is going to be $25 for all 6.
For all 6?
All 6. So stock up on it. Yes.
Wow.
Okay. Some people like to crochet. Some people collect stamps.
Yes.
Oprah's hobby is bathing.
Yes.
Yes, it is. I
Yes.
know it's very
I
hilarious.
love that about Oprah.
I know.
I mean, come on.
That's why she fell in love with the Library of Flowers packaging, bath and body products. Smell this. It's intoxicating.
Oh,
This
it
is
smells like a
willow and water.
perfume.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. These are on her countertop. She loves the
They're
fact that you
pretty.
can really have these out in the open.
Yeah.
Margot Elena for Library of Flowers makes the most beautiful
They're
stuff.
pretty.
Truly. The prices range from $11 to $42. The deal today will be $5.50 to $21.
Wow.
You're saving 50%.
Wow.
It's gorgeous stuff.
It's gorgeous.
Really gorgeous. Go to her house and you'll see these products there.
These are beautiful. When I go to
Beautiful.
Oprah's house, I want to see these.
Exactly. She's also known for her eyewear, and she
Yes.
loves stylish eyewear. That's why this year she picked from Peepers their readers and their sunglasses one more time.
Oh,
They did an exclusive style for us. This is it. It's big, it's bold, it's cool. These are not your grandmother's
These
readers.
match with what I
These
have
are
on.
really cool. They have a little
Do you see
they have a subtle hint of sparkle, which is very hip
They're
right
great.
now. They are totally great. And
They're
the
light
prices,
also. They feel good on your
I know.
face.
Wait till you hear these prices
Okay.
because they are amazing. They normally are $23 to $25. Today they're going to be $11.50 to $12.50.
Oh my
You are
God.
saving 50% on Peepers.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I love everything.
Yeah.
Our thanks to Adam Glassman. The clock is ticking, people. You have 24 hours to grab any of these exclusive deals at viewyourdeal.com. And members of the audience, guess what? You're going home with hand cream from Library of Flowers, a tote bag from Paravel, and the hot sauce from Truff, and the December issue of O Magazine. I mean, come on. Have a great day, everyone, and take a little time.
Enjoy.